In today's video, I will show you how many traffic sources you really need for your e-commerce business to be successful, as well as helping you choose which traffic source to go with. So let's get started.
I grew tired of that. I grew eyes on my back. They drew iron when I drew rhymes. So who's firing back? Told myself, keep your mind on them rats. Knowing damn well this shit's
Alright, so my name is Marco and welcome to this video. There are a lot of myths out there. Many people still believe that Facebook ads are the only way to go and the only way to be successful. Others now say that, for example, Google or influencers are the only way to go. And even though I do work a lot with Google AdWords and I have many students and clients in this space, I have to give you my advice on choosing the right traffic source and the right amount of traffic sources. So first of all, what's really important is that you try multiple traffic sources before you really settle with one. There are many people who say, like, master one traffic source, go with one thing and stick to it. But I believe this is really bad. First of all, you never really know when there are big changes. So for example, this new changes to the Facebook algorithm. I know so many businesses who suddenly got their CPAs going from $1 to $2, from let's say $5 to $10, $15 and more. Of course you can avoid that, and of course if you are really good and know what you're doing, you can kind of reduce the impact of these negative things. But in general, it's still important that you have some kind of backup plan. So my first advice is, when it comes to how many traffic sources and which to pick, is don't have one. This is my biggest advice that I can give you, is do not have one. It doesn't really matter if you have 2, 3 or 4, but if you only have one and put all your eggs in one basket, this can go horribly wrong. Like if you only rely on Facebook ads, let's imagine Facebook shuts down your ad account from one day to the other and suddenly you cannot get any traffic, because first of all, if you wanted to go to another network now, let's say AdWords, you would first of all have to learn it. You would have to set up your whole account. You would have to start running your first campaigns. And probably this will take at least like 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks before you can really get started, simply because you didn't look into it earlier. And you cannot just, become good in a traffic source or in a marketing technique and start your whole campaigns within like a few days. This will be very tough. So the first thing is always have a backup plan. Like if you start dropshipping today and you want to go with Facebook ads, which is perfectly fine, keep in mind that you also should look a little bit into, for example, influencers and AdWords and probably also affiliate marketing or SEO or something to really build that up. And this will definitely help you if you have some problems and if you ever face something like, for example, a big change, or maybe some, whether it's Facebook or Google or something, shutting your account down so that you have something to work with. Another very important thing is that you don't have to be a master in one thing before you move to another. Like, there are too many people thinking that you need to become a real AdWords or real Facebook master before you can do anything good. Of course, the better you are at one thing, whether it's Facebook, AdWords, whatever, the higher your chances of succeeding and selling. But as a small dropshipper, as a small e-commerce business owner, you don't have to be the best Facebook marketer in the world. If you have only a $10 budget every day, it doesn't matter too much if you are at, let's say, pro level or world-class level, right? So if you're good at Facebook ads, if you know all the functions, if you know the strategies, if you know some best practices, techniques, this is definitely not gonna stop you from running a successful business. So my advice here is to use the 80-20 rule and basically spend 20% of your time to get 80% of the results. It's not necessary that you are a world-class Facebook marketer in order to run successful Facebook ads for your business. Rather, you should actually spend that extra time on your funnels, on your back end, on your email marketing, on your conversion rate optimization, store design, branding, and all these kind of things, sourcing. This is where you can spend your time after you know how to use, for example, Facebook ads. And this is way better than doing Facebook ads, and really getting stuck into it, trying to become the best of the best for this little bit of extra skill, if you want, because this is not what will bring your business to the next level. It will probably give you, let's say, $5,000 instead of $3,000 in the end of the month, or $5,000 instead of $4,000, but it won't bring you from 5 to 10 to 20 to 50 if you only focus on that one little thing. So this is super important when choosing your traffic sources and the amount of traffic sources that you choose. Also, it makes a lot of sense to use traffic sources that can complement each other. So if you use Google AdWords or Google Shopping, this is a great source to really get buying intent traffic to buy your products. And once you've done this, and once you have add to carts and purchases and a lot of them, you can then go to Facebook and craft lookalike audiences from really, really good traffic, because these are people that buy, these are people that fit your niche, and you can go to Facebook and find people like them, because obviously finding the initial group of people is always what's the hardest on Facebook ads. Every marketer, every good marketer, every bigger store owner is working almost entirely with lookalike audiences at some point in time, simply because why should you actually go with entirely new interest and behavior-based targeting if you have like thousands and 10,000s of visitors and purchases and add to carts and so on. So of course it makes way more sense to go with them and build lookalike audiences from all kinds of different events. So at some point in time you will rarely use simple interest and behavior-based targeting. And if you have good data because of Google AdWords, you can of course leverage that to really get LLAs going on from the start. And same goes of course for influencer marketing. You can use influencers to really make your brand more popular and really give you this social proof or this brand proof in general. And then you can use other traffic sources to bring in people to actually watch the content. So you can use influencers, first of all, of course, to get some clicks, but also to leverage their popularity, bring them on your site, have a video with them, and then you can send traffic to your store, probably also people who know this influencer, and they will be way more likely to actually buy your product simply because you have this influencer featured. When you have very small budgets, on the other hand, the strategy of testing multiple traffic sources really gets kind of weird, and it doesn't really work out. So if you have $20 a day to spend, it doesn't make sense to spend $10 on Facebook, $10 on AdWords, and then split it among like 2 different ad groups or ad sets. So if this is your budget, you should really stick to one traffic source first. You should know which one you want to also try. Maybe you also register an account there already. Maybe you learn about it already. But it doesn't really make sense to spend your money on this traffic source or on this platform yet. So if you have a very small budget, stick to one thing, because else your results won't be really statistically significant. You won't really hit the potential of the individual platform, like whether it's Facebook or AdWords. Both require some kind of ad spend before you can really dive into the data and see what works better and get more information, whether this is search terms that work good, or on Facebook, whether these are placements that work good. So it's really important that you don't spread your budget too thin across multiple different sources, because this will have the opposite effect. Then you won't be really diversifying your risk, but you really spread it that much that nothing really works that well. So this is something you should avoid by all means. Get started with one thing, have one backup plan, and if your budget allows it, use 2 things simultaneously, but only in this particular case. And the biggest tip, or the most important thing that I can actually tell you when it comes to choosing traffic sources and starting with advertising in general, it is do your store and everything that you can do for free first, and use ads later. So I know it's very tempting to start the first ad campaign immediately, like you just have your first store, you just launched it, you just have the domain, and now you want to send ads so that you can get these sales. But in reality, these are the things that cost money. So everything else that you can invest your time in is free. Of course, it requires work and it requires some time, but normally if you're just starting out with a small dropshipping business, you don't have these huge opportunity costs, right? So you can go ahead and you spend some hours on your website, you can spend some hours on product research, on probably creating some content or blog posts or whatever, and only then, once you have everything in place, then you can really spend money on AdWords or Facebook or influencers, because then you know that everything else is super optimized. Whenever I see these stores that, you know, they look like they were made in like 20 minutes and people just couldn't wait until they start advertising, this doesn't make any sense. If you have a really terrible store and you just launch it because you couldn't wait with ads anymore, this is where your impatience really brings trouble for your business, because this is not how it works. If you have a store that is very well prepared for people to come and to buy, this is what you should do, and this is what will ultimately bring you the results, instead of sending traffic before your store is even ready for it. And then you will spend $50, $100, $200, $500, and at some point you wonder why everything isn't working, but it's only because you didn't prepare your store for the traffic that you're sending. So I know this video was maybe a little confusing. I was talking about many things at the same time and not really one clear fixed question or topic, but I think Everything is super related to choosing the right traffic sources and whether you should actually use 1 or 2 or 3. So I hope that you get some value out of this video, because I think it's a really, really important topic. If you want to learn more about e-commerce and dropshipping and marketing, make sure that you hit subscribe and of course also hit the notification bell. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram to get some new stuff, to get some things that other people do not see, as well as some personal things, make sure that you follow me on Instagram as well. You can find the link in the description. And last but not least, you can hit my free Google AdWords course and my free Google AdWords group that are both in the description if you want to learn how to be successful with Google AdWords and Google Shopping and sell your products with this platform. So this being said, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, like I said, please leave a like and also leave a comment if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.